Hello, 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 everyone. Tap in, tap in, tap in. We have a great show tonight. I have an awesome guest speaker on tonight. Her name is Rain Eaton, and you all know how and what's important to me, which is family, meeting the need of the whole person, whether you single, married, divorced, and also guess what we're doing? Reinventing ourselves. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Miss Eaton introduce herself.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Eaton, how's it going?
It's going well. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. You are awesome. I love watching your shows.
Thank
Just
you.
truly blessed at what God is doing on your life. So keep going, girl. Keep getting it out. I am Rain Eaton. My bachelor's is in early childhood education. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching about 13 years. I'm an author. I am a mother. I am. That's pretty much about it. Education is just has always been, a part of me. So that's who I am, an educator.
So I really am excited to have you. And so lately, we've been really trying to tap into how to meet the needs of ourselves as being adults. But now we're kind of transitioning a little bit into helping meet the needs of the children. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what grade do you teach?
I'm a first grade teacher.
First grade. Give it up. Virtual first grade teacher.
Yes.
And we know during this pandemic that it has been really stressful for families. Me, myself, being a mom with two children virtually hasn't been easy. Just to getting them up, making sure they stay woke, they stay logged in, using Schoology and things like that. So, for a lot of parents that we have on live that's watching us today, what would you say will be something they would need to know when it comes to helping their child in this virtual world that we're in?
I would say one of the things is just being patient. Knowing that we all have struggles with this. This is new for everybody. So nobody is really like a master at it. But come in with patience. Know that your child is going through a lot of issues with it, not being in school. Especially the first graders. They're struggling not being around their friends, but we just have to make it work. We have to figure out, what it is that the positives. Always look at the bright side of it. Figure out what we can do to benefit from it. I have about, I'm not gonna say the number, but it's a lot of first graders in my class. And at the beginning, I noticed that the families, they struggle with the technology piece, like you said, just getting on, logging in, becoming familiar. A lot of the families didn't really have the technology at the house. So now that they have it, it's just looking into how do I maneuver from Schoology to Teams, the different platforms that we use. And I got 4 kids in the house, or just listening to the family. The one mom said, I'm going from, my 3rd graders to my 1st graders up to my 7th graders, and it's hard. Like it's a lot. The workload is heavy for them. So we're dealing with a lot of emotional as well as academics, just struggling, getting used to my kids are all like virtually, everything is digital for us. We moved from the textbooks to digital because too much. Like they still have them, they still are able to use them, but a lot of the programs are online. So they're doing the worksheets online. So that was the biggest struggle. And I would say just, going in with that patience and flexibility. As an educator, we have to be, flexible with the kids. Like, hey, why aren't you on right now? Why are you laying in bed today? Why I stayed up last night, playing video games late. Well, now you got to sit up at least, put on the shirt, be attentive like we're in the building, and be engaged. So that's one of the things I always tell them is, just be engaged, give me that time and commitment like you would be in the classroom.
So when you notice that children are not in class
Mm-hmm.
and they should be, how do you handle that?
Well, for me, if they're not in class, it's phone calls. My parents are the bomb.com. I'm telling you, like,
Mhm.
they, at the beginning, it was just getting used, when you're building those relationships and
Mhm.
they're trying to figure out, well, how much you gonna let us get away with? And,
Mhm.
what is the expectations for this virtual learning? Because again, it's new for, first graders. They really didn't do it last year.
Mhm.
So, um, what I do to handle the situation of them not showing up, and my attendance is pretty good, but I call, I'm
Mhm.
on the phone, I'm leaving them messages, and I'm on Teams leaving messages. So, like I said, the turnout has been really good. There's still a
Mhm.
handful and that, can't get the technology down, so they're struggling with showing up. But for the most of them, they're in and they're participating and they're engaged. Yeah.
So how important is family engagement to you?
I would say one of the things that I always wanted for like the previous years was the parent engagement, because that was one of the pieces that we lacked,
Mhm.
was that piece of parent engagement. But now it is phenomenal. And I think that makes it, when we team up together, it makes the education easier. And that's any grade, any district. And when that family is connected to that child, when you know what's going on in your child's classroom and you're participating and you're turning in that homework and knocking that stuff out, it makes the success a lot better. It makes
Mhm.
it a lot better. You have to have that teamwork. Like, and I tell them, I said, I always say that the parent is the first teacher. So when you are your child's first teacher, that's long before they even enter a brick and mortar building, long before they come virtually, now. If
Mhm.
you are training them and you're teaching them, train up a child, my favorite,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
the way you should go. Come on.
yes, you are training that child those behaviors, like, what can I do? Okay, can I be on my phone while I'm doing my homework? Can I, play the game while I'm supposed to be doing my homework? You are conditioning that child, allowing it what you allow them to do, and they're
Mhm.
watching you, seeing how you're gonna respond. Is she not
Mhm.
gonna be on my head if I'm not, participating and doing what I'm supposed to be doing? So they're watching, and that's why I said you just got to train them up, and continue to be involved and have that support.
Mhm. That consistency is important.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. I was trying to let my children do it. Like, let me see, because
Right.
they in the sixth grade, in the fourth grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were using technology
Mm-hmm.
before the pandemic.
That's
So
right.
I'm like, let me see if they can do this without me being on their head.
Right.
That
Right.
first quarter came, I said, Lord Jesus, I need a miracle.
Yeah, that is so
They
true.
didn't want to get up. They was up, but they was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm grateful because the teachers were communicating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they
Yeah.
were doing their best to communicate. I'm more like a please call me,
Right. Right.
call me.
Yeah.
Because just like the child has to be walked through the virtual world,
Mm-hmm.
parents also need to be walked through
Yeah.
the virtual world.
That's so
But
true. And one of my parents, he said to me, he said, and I'm not saying any names so I can just, say the
yeah,
story,
you're fine.
but he said, you know, I dropped out of school in sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't have the education to help him with this.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to show me so I can teach him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That is so profound. And I said, thank you for sharing that with me. I said, but let me tell you something. Give that computer to him. You
Mm-hmm.
know way more than what you're allowing him to know. I said, but you sit next to him while he's doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
together we'll show you how to do it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like they're thinking, I have to know all the answers before my child can get on the computer. We got my daughter was born with the iPad attached to her hip. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
literally, she's
For
had an
sure.
iPad since she was about 2. But
Mm-hmm.
so they know, the point of saying that is that they know the technology and they know how to use it. They know how to maneuver in it. And the parents, we're not as savvy as them. I call her all the time, Harry, show me how to, share this screen, or show me how to do
Mm-hmm.
this, and just helping them, but that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's important for the teachers, attendance agents, and everybody to work together.
That's
That's
right.
that village we have in this virtual world.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when we do go back in the building,
Mm-hmm.
we still gonna have to make sure we keep that communication the same,
Yeah,
even when we go back in the building.
definitely. Yeah.
So on that note, I want to switch over because you do some awesome things with the children.
Thank you.
And I would like our parents to hear about this so they can know that you're putting in the work, sis. You're putting in the work, and I appreciate all that you do.
Okay.
You be trying to drag me along.
Girl, I gotta
pray for me, pray for me.
have
I'm like, Rain, take the kids. You want the kids, get the kids, okay? So I want you to let our viewers know about your programs that you offer, because there may be some families out here that would love to partner up. It could be some community people out here that would like to partner up. So go ahead and share with us.
Yeah. Well, my nonprofit business is Train Up a Child 123. And what we do, we currently, I'll start with the current project that we're working on. We're fighting childhood obesity. So for the last, I want to say 12 weeks, we've been meeting weekly, virtually, working out. And we go over healthy snacks, and we started out with an hour workout, and then them babies was just wore out. So we went down to 30 minutes. So we work out 30 minutes a week. The next session will start in March, and we'll go for another 10 weeks in March. But we got some other projects following up with that. So that's our current mission, is just to fight the childhood obesity. I thought it was important to do that when, being home, they're not having gym class. They're not working out as much. You're seeing the kids picking up the weight and not moving because they're playing the games and they're sitting in the house. So I felt that it was important to do something, even though we were still social distancing. Some of the things that I've done in the past have been like summer camp and, different things before we went into this setting. But I do love the babies. That has always been a passionate for me. And when I say babies, I'm talking 5 to 18. That's where our program goes. The age ranges varies, but yeah, it's fun. We're looking forward to the next thing that we're going to be starting up. That'll come out real soon. But if you want to talk to me more about that, just inbox me. But yeah.
Now you also have another piece that you're skipping over.
What?
The with the ball.
Oh, the debutante ball. Yes. So the reason why I skipped over it was because we're not virtual. I mean, because we're social distancing. So what we have a debutante ball, and the young ladies are, again, from the ages of 5 through 18. We met weekly for, again, about this 10 to 12 weeks, doing workshops such as etiquette. And we talked about, what do we have? We had like 10 different workshops with all this different activities that they were able to do, working on themselves, their self-care, their love, just being better citizens in the community. And so we did that for 10 weeks. And then after that, we had a debutante ball. So the debutante ball was just basically like a accumulation of everything that the girls learned, all of the things that we went over in the workshops. So they were able to get dressed, and they had the father-daughter dance, and they had on their long flowy white dresses, and we worked hard. So the last piece of the program was just like dance practices and stuff. And it started out because I was in one when I was in high school. Debutante balls are usually for older girls.
Okay.
So I was in high school and I had one. And then one day I was just thinking like, oh my goodness, that would be so dope to do this with the younger, the older girls, just to show them those things, because, never been exposed to, I was learning stuff like, oh, you're supposed to hold your fork like this, like different things that we've been learning throughout the programs, and just showing, money matters and all of that stuff, just planning them how to do budgets, things. The earlier that you get to know those things, you can become a master at them later on. So I just wanted to bring it to them earlier, expose them to it earlier. And then we revolved into another year. We started it out this year, but again, when COVID came in, we shut it down. And then we started with the virtual activities. But yeah. Yep.
Okay. So yeah. Well, there is hope. You
Yeah.
are keeping up with the children
Yeah.
through Zoom, through the exercise program.
Yeah.
So that's what, and you know what? That is so important for our students. I know, and for our children, because I do understand we want to limit the amount of screen time. However, those extracurricular activities are really important. Those
That's right.
relationships, you know, did a session with my children with surviving the holidays with the grief. You know, me and you, I always talk to you about the grief share program I have
Yeah.
and that I'm a part of with my church. And I didn't realize how the pandemic can have an effect on children.
Yeah.
It's having an effect on the adults with the effects that it has on children. So as I'm doing surviving the holidays with my children and we're going through it, one thing they pulled out, they said, we miss our cousins.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, and I'm thinking, people don't realize this time apart from their peers, from their family is a loss.
It is. It
We
is.
don't see them anymore. So a lot of times, you know, we look at grief, and I say this all the time, we look at grief as just being just death, but it's not.
Yeah.
It also includes separation because we're separated from each other. And then the loss, the part of that separation is that loss of communication if we don't bring it back.
That's right. Yeah.
So, like with anybody, if you're trying to build a relationship with somebody and you all never talk, what's going to happen?
Right. It's gonna evolve. Yep. That's one of the things that I looked at, you know, just knowing that our babies are without, like they don't have that. The easy thing I should say is that a lot of the first graders haven't had that experience of, you know, the recess on the playground all day or, you know, the cafeteria lunches because they're new to it. So this is going to be their norm, the new norm for them. However, like you said, with their cousins and just hanging out and the sleepovers, a lot of people aren't doing that because they're afraid, you know, so we are going to miss a lot of that, you know, so hopefully it does turn out that we can get back into that lifestyle and the kids can get that social, emotional connections again.
So one thing I want to impart on parents and families. Now, I see we have some viewers. One is Eldridge. She says, nice topics, but my kids are grown now. So what I want to say to my sister is, even if you have grandkids, this is beneficial. Even if you have nieces and nephews, this is still a good talk in forms of communication that you can share with other people. So, you know, I once again, I want to remind people and remind my viewers, we have to address the entire body because sometimes we can put all of us into one area, which could be that marriage. And then we forget about all the other parts of what's going on in our life. So I want to, you know, remind everybody that I'm here. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying it's the Bible. But what I am doing is I'm bringing in people to help other people because that's what we do, right? We have to create this village that we feel safe. You know, that's important for us to feel safe and feel supported.
That's right.
Because
And
a lot of people don't have.
too, I am taking it from the elementary point of view, but I also have a 21-year-old son. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it applies. And, you know, teaching, when I taught middle school, one of the things that I realized was they got the same problems that my third graders had when I was teaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because of the age, it doesn't mean that they're not going through those same problems. We were just talking about the babies because that's where I'm, you know, my experiences most of it. But yeah, my son, you know, he, with everything that we've gone through with the whole, you know, the separation, the grief, all of that, that, you know, that impacts. That's really, you know, you have to tune in, check in. I always say, what are you doing to assess your child? We assume that they're okay. We assume that, the divorce didn't bother them. We assume that, moving is not bothered. You can't make those assumptions. You have to check in on your kids. Hey, the biggest thing we always say is, you good? Yeah, I'm good, whatever. And that, just check in just to make sure, it goes from my 11-year-old to my 21-year-old. I'm always checking in. You always have to ask, because a lot of the times you miss those signs. You can miss what they're, with any child, whether it be in the classroom or your kids at home, you miss those signs, what they're having. And, that call out, hey, I'm not getting the attention, or, hey, what are we going to do to move forward? Like, what is this going to look like now that we're not all in the house together? How is that going to look? So yeah, definitely it's that the emotion is not tied to the age.
And so with that being said, and to continue on, like with Charity and LJ, when they revealed, they was like, Mommy, we miss our cousins. And I was shocked, because I thought they was gonna say Dad.
Yeah.
But they have that relationship. See, that's what's so important. People are missing that key part of having that relationship. So they know they didn't say that. They said they're cousins. So that really touched my heart. And I said, you know what? I reached out to my sister, 2 sisters, and one sister replied back, and I was like, what was your thoughts? Because I sent her the video, and she was like, a Zoom. And I'm like, that was a test. I just wanted to make sure she watched that video.
Right.
Because I wanted her to hear them. They was really sincere about it.
And we find it's so amazing now. I'm finding myself find new ways to have them communicate. Like I said, even with my youngest, I'm like, look in the camera, make sure you're FaceTiming. Did you check in with your grandparents? Did you call your aunt? You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah, you have to check in, like not necessarily just in the house, but outside the house. FaceTime, so I told her by Sunday, if you ain't talked to them, you need to call them. Make sure you call everybody at least Sunday and check in on a Wednesday. We talk, me, my mom and sister talk every day, all day. But I want her on her device, to tune in and check in with your grandparents, tune in and check in with your cousins. You know what I'm saying? That way, they're still having that communication, and that piece isn't lost with everything that's going on with us, in 2020. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I like that. Do the check-ins.
Right.
Make time for one another, even though you may not can see them physically.
Yeah. And it's just going to be new ways to figure it out, like what else can we do to be creative? Like that's what I said with we had the virtual workouts, now she's even writing letters. I didn't get my Christmas cards out yet, but I'm gonna get them out. is like, just write the letters. One of her friends sent her a thank you letter in the mail from her. She had a virtual birthday party.
Okay.
So really cool. Her mom gave her a virtual birthday party, and then she wrote the thank you card and sent it to my daughter. And I was like, yes, now you can, you got her address, you can write her back, just the way that we used to be when it comes down to the communication. Some of those forms will come back. So yeah.
That's really good. So writing a letter, FaceTiming, having Zoom parties. Which that's something we do at our school, for our children. And I love it. DJ Quad on the one.
Yeah.
We love our babies. We love them. We love them. I can honestly say that, so that is so awesome. So when we're talking about families and self-care, what does that look like? What would you say that looks like? If you're a mom, I'm a mom.
Right.
So what does self-care really look like?
Well, I think self-care looks different for everybody in every situation. Some tips or signs that I would notice anytime, whether it be, a student in the classroom or my own personal family, like if they're sleeping too late, if they're staying up all night, if they're staying in their room too long, that anytime that they're being isolated, the isolation is the opposite of self-care. Those topics are the opposite of what it looks like. So to me is, we're at home all day. Did you shower? You know,
Right.
did you do basic essentials to let me know that you're healthy, that you're taking care of yourself? You know, did you get dressed? Did you do those things? Are you, we're not going out as much, but are you up and out? You know, did you run to the store today? However the situation may be, are you getting yourself together? So those basic essentials, I would say, is a part of self-care. Another piece to self-care would be just making sure you find out what makes you happy. What does that fun look like for you? Because everybody's version of fun is different, you know? And you have to figure out what it looks like for you and make sure you're doing that. Stay in tune with yourself. So if fun for me is making a t-shirt, I'm gonna make me a t-shirt. If fun for me is, you know, knitting, I'm gonna knit. If fun for me is watching TV on Netflix, I'm gonna watch TV on Netflix. And it may change at any time, but you got to find out what your fun is for you and make sure that you're doing it. Get that rest time. Let your brain relax, you know, find that time. We all out here trying to find our passive, you know, income. We all trying to find our niche. We're all trying to figure out what works for us outside of our 9 to 5, you know, but you have to make sure that you're, you know, taking that time to let your brain relax and just getting that self-care.
Like we say in school, brain breaks.
That's right. You have to take that brain break. Yeah.
Now, you left us, I put down Rain tips. So explain those tips to us.
So my first one, when you think you've done enough, do more, you know, always do more, because it's kind of like, you know, I remember being an athlete in college and in high school. And one of the things that a good friend of me at the time always told me was, you know, you think you're working hard, but there's somebody out there working hard just to beat you. You know, so my mind process at that time was, when you think that you're at your peak, you got to keep working to do more, work harder, go the extra mile, you know, even deeper to make those goals happen. You know, I've always been a 5-year planner. So what are my 5-year plans? Here they are. So I got to make sure that they happen. If I haven't completed them in the 5 years, let's reevaluate that and move forward. And that's just a way to centralize that. Oh, I checked off this box. Am I done now? No, keep going. You know, you got to make that happen so that you can achieve the goals that make you successful, you know. And what success is determined off you. Like you hear a lot of people say there's a generalized version of success. It's not. Success is what makes you happy again. And, you know, what your goals are and if you completed those things. So that's the first one. The second one, I was looking for always love and always forgive. Always love hard and forgive. That's deep for me, you know, because I feel like every day is a new day to give somebody a new opportunity. You know, so you're in that situation with that person, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. Especially if it's a relationship, you know, they always say, don't go to bed angry. You know, you have to forgive that person.
Yes.
Hard. So I'm real particular on who I give that love to, because I don't want to just give it freely and then they take advantage of it. So you have to, you know, basically know who you're giving your love to, know who you're spending your time with, who you're around, and just I love her. I don't know whether it's, you know, the kids or, you know, my man, whoever it is, it's just I'm loving her. So that's what that one is. And the forgiving for me is essential, because I feel like if I forgive them, I'm relieving myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm allowing myself. Yeah, I'm allowing myself to be at peace. You're not impacting my peace. You know? So I'm not going to allow you to hold, I'm not gonna hold whatever you did to me inside and mess up my peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna forgive you, you know, and that's just how I've always been. But the other part of that is knowing when to walk away and forgetting. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the back end of it, is because I can forgive, but I'm always one to forgive and then allow them to get another chance. But I've learned recently, don't keep letting people do the same mistakes to you over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like you can forgive them, but you got to know when to detach.
Yes.
You know, like, okay, that was good. I forgive you. Go ahead. I have my peace. Now I'm moving on. You know, I'm not going to
let go, let God.
That's right. I'm not about to forgive you and let you sit here and keep beating me up, and doing the same thing over again, because I do have that forgiving heart, So those are my my tips.
Well, you know what? You did an amazing job. I'm excited and delighted. I can keep pushing on after this one. Okay, sis? So on that note, I want to say thank you, and thank you. And to our viewers, hey Shanta, hey everybody, what's good? What's good? Tori, I see you, girl. With that being said, anybody have any questions you want to talk to her about your children in this virtual world? She is a great go-to. I'm serious. Mm-hmm. Look her up. She's going to put in later her information about her nonprofit. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about it.
Thank you.
Then I want to say thank you for leaving us with those tips. Rain's tips right there, y'all. And we got to take a picture.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we got to take a picture. 1, 2, 3. It's so different doing it that way for me versus me being on my phone and being able to take it. So that's what it is.
Not a problem.
Thank you again. I appreciate you, and you keep shining, girl.
Oh, thank you for having me, Okiymo. You keep rocking, girl. You got this, and I love listening to them on the replay. It's an honor. Thank you, girl.
You're welcome. Keep shining. Have a good day, okay?
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. We got our next guest up at 7, y'all. See y'all then. Peace.